All right, we got a NVIDIA earnings update. Today is Wednesday, and NVIDIA had their earnings after the market closed, and it's another blowout, phenomenal quarter for the stock, for the company. Stock is up 4% post earnings, and we will see how it reacts tomorrow. But to me, this is just another great quarter. This company is mind-boggling. So here's the graphic for Q1. Revenue was $44 billion. That's up 12% quarter over quarter, 69% year over year. And again, that is mostly the data center here for $39 billion in the last quarter for data center. And these other pieces are small, but they are steady. Gaming is up 50% quarter over quarter to almost $4 billion for a whopping net profit of $19 billion, 43% margin. Unbelievable. So when we look at the revenue breakdown, you can see this just unbelievable growth for NVIDIA AI, just unreal. And again, mostly data center, you can see here, but continuing to just grow. It's just unreal. So the earnings snapshot, we talked about it, revenue up 70% year over year, net profit, data center, talked about it, gaming, talked about it. Let's see some of the other big takeaways. The Blackwell chip, this is the fastest ramp in NVIDIA history. So this is their new data center chip. And it's already 70% of their data center compute sales is the Blackwell chip. They did talk about how AI inference demand is exploding. You've got Microsoft ramping 72,000 Blackwell chips a week. That's a lot. AI workloads generating 100 trillion tokens in Q1. That's a 5x year over year increase. Everyone's using ChatGPT. Everyone's using full self-driving. Everyone's using Google Gemini. It's pretty unbelievable the speed at which this AI revolution is taking hold, and we're still at the very early stages. Long-term growth. So data center has grown 10x since Q1 in 2023. 10x. If we go back up here, Q1 2023, we're up 10 times when it comes to data center, from 3 billion to 39 billion. Crazy. I want to pull up this tweet that I just saw here. So this is NVIDIA's revenue every Q1 since going public. They became public in 1999. Their revenue was 71 million. Took a long time to get to 1 billion in 2008. Stayed in this 1 billion range for a while. 2018 grew to 3 billion. And then all of a sudden, 2022, 2023, and 2024 go from 8 billion, 7 billion, 26 billion, 44 billion. Unbelievable explosion for this company. Unreal. Let's see here. Some other takeaways from the earnings call. Gross margin 61%, operating profit $22 billion, R&D $4 billion, returned $14.3 billion to shareholders. That's mostly in share buybacks, and they pay a very small dividend. Let's see here. Gaming is bouncing back, but still tiny compared to AI. The China headwinds. So $8 billion revenue hit incoming. So the H20 export ban, they already took that $4.5 billion inventory charge. We've talked about that in other NVIDIA updates. And they are going to lose $8 billion in potential sales in Q2. So those are chips they won't be able to sell to China. China's 50 billion AI total addressable market is now mostly unreachable for now. This could change, and hopefully this does change. There's a very interesting debate to be had. Do we sell the chips to China, or do we not sell the chips to China and allow them to buy from their own or create their own? So very interesting debate to be had. We won't have that in this video. Jensen did say on the earnings call, export bans will only strengthen China's local AI competition. So they're going to have a homegrown NVIDIA eventually, out of necessity. So we can either sell them the chips and maybe not have to deal with a potential Chinese competitor down the road, or we can ban it and allow them to make their own competitor and have another Chinese competitor down the road. We'll have to wait and see. So, enterprise, sovereign AI, and industrial AI ramp. 100 plus AI factories are in flight worldwide. So he's been talking about this for a while, that we're going to see AI factories. You're going to place an order online. A factory will be running 24/7 with robots. Materials go in one door, and then products come out. Now, in between there, a lot of things happen, and that's not going to be done by humans. That's going to be done by AI and robots. So that's going to be very, very interesting, and there will be a loss of jobs, but there's also going to be an abundance of goods and services, and there's going to be an increased productivity. So this is going to be very interesting to see how fast this happens. Most of Amazon's warehouses are ran by robots 24/7. And yes, the people still need to drive the trucks and put the packages on your doorstep, but all the back stuff, the warehouse stuff, is heavily automated by robots, and I think we're going to see more and more of that. So you've got some countries, UAE, Taiwan, Sweden, they're building these sovereign platforms. Let's see here. The networking software, $5 billion in revenue. That's up 64% quarter over quarter. And the big picture here, AI is now essential infrastructure like electricity or the internet. This is becoming more and more true every day, every week, every month. It is essential infrastructure. That's why you're seeing these large cloud companies, enterprise, sovereign nations, they're all using this to compete. And it's just as essential to them now like electricity and the internet. Now, when the internet came around, we didn't have an Amazon, we didn't have a Google, we didn't have a Microsoft. Well, we had Microsoft, but we didn't have Excel and all these other products that they sell. So what's going to come out of this new revolution in technology, this AI revolution? And you're seeing everyone adopt it, and we're still at the early stages, and they're the leader here. There's no question about it. So AI Stack is powering a global AI build out in the cloud, enterprise, sovereign nations, robotics, PCs. We've talked about it all. The cloud, ChatGPT, enterprise, Microsoft, sovereign nations, Saudi, Sweden. You've got robots, you've got Amazon robots, you've got Tesla cars. Those are all running on NVIDIA chips. And then PCs. This computer is brought to you by an NVIDIA chip for these highly complex produced YouTube videos that are coming to you. So, pros and cons. Unrivaled AI compute stack, hardware, software, ecosystem. The inference, enterprise, and sovereign AI growth, that's the huge tailwinds here for the data center. Record profitability and shareholder returns, that's all the good stuff. Now, some of the cons here, we've got the export bans cut off a major growth market in China. Sky high expectations are priced in, but they just keep crushing these expectations. Risk of hyperscalers shifting to in-house AI chips. This is a risk that Meta and Tesla and Amazon make their own chips and rely less on NVIDIA, but I still think there's going to be other players that need these chips, like the Saudis. They don't have in-house chips. They're going to be buying all the NVIDIA chips that they can get their hands on. So there's going to be some companies that have the resources to make their own chips. That's a handful. That's the Mag 7. But other than that, you're going to have a lot of smaller companies that are going to rely on NVIDIA because they're focused on another business. They're not focused on, hey, while we're doing, while Amazon's sending rockets to space and Tesla's got full self-driving vehicles, we can make our own chips. You're going to have a smaller company that doesn't have those resources and doesn't have the money to make their own chips, and they're just going to say, hey, let's go buy NVIDIA chips because we make burritos, Chipotle. They're going to buy NVIDIA chips. They're not going to make their own NVIDIA GPU chips. So, conclusion, this isn't just about the big numbers. NVIDIA is creating the global brain power behind AI revolution. But with the stock up big and competition rising, can the stock really keep going? I think so. I'm waiting to see $5 trillion. I think NVIDIA is near $4 trillion right now. So we'll see how long until we get to that 5 trillion. I think 5 trillion put NVIDIA around, I thought it was around $180, $200 per share. So who knows when we get there, but that's the next target I'm looking for NVIDIA. Let me know in the comments, are you buying NVIDIA at these levels? Are you waiting for a pullback? Did you scoop and score when it was down at 95 during the tariff tantrum? Let me know in the comments, but not a whole lot else I can say about this company other than just another phenomenal quarter. And if you're not using AI, you're going to get left behind. It's a tool for us to be more productive and to save time. That's what I'm all about, save some time. So that's all I got for you guys in this video. Great quarter for NVIDIA. This train keeps rolling. All right, peace out.